Hi viewers, this is Mrs. R. Padmapriya from St. Joseph College of Arts and Science, Kadalur, working as an assistant professor in PG and Research Department of Mathematics. Today we are going to discuss about the topic groups. In the previous video itself, we have discussed about the definition for groups. A group consists of a non-empty set G together with the binary operation asterisk such that the following properties holds. There are four properties: closure, associativity, existence of identity, and existence of inverse. If these four properties get satisfied, then we can say a non-empty set G as a group. Based on this definition, let us discuss one lemma. Let G is a group, then the identity element of G is unique. Likewise, the inverse element is also unique. Third one, A inverse the whole inverse is equal to A. And the fourth one is A dot B whole inverse is equal to B inverse dot A inverse. Let us see the first condition. If possible, let us consider E1 and E2 are the two identity elements in G. So we can write A dot E1 is equal to E1 dot A is equal to A. Likewise, A dot E2 is equal to E2 dot A is equal to A. From these two equations, we are getting A dot E1 is equal to A dot E2. Now, pre-multiply by A inverse on both sides. Then, in the next step, we associate A inverse with A. So, we are getting E. The value is A inverse dot A is equal to E. So, E dot E1 is equal to E dot E2. From this, we are getting E1 is equal to E2. Therefore, the identity element of G is unique. Okay, the second one, if possible, let A dash and A double dash be the two inverses of A belongs to G. By the inverse condition, we can write A dash dot A is equal to A dot A dash is equal to E. Likewise, A double dash dot A is equal to A dot A double dash is equal to E. From this two equation, we are getting A dash dot A is equal to A double dash dot A. Now, post multiply by A inverse on both sides. After post multiplying, we are associating A and A inverse on both sides. So, A dot A inverse is nothing but E. So, we are getting A dash is equal to A double dash. Therefore, the inverse element is also unique. The third condition is, for every A belongs to G, A inverse belongs to G. So, A dot A inverse is equal to A inverse dot A is equal to E. Take this as first equation. Since A inverse belongs to G means A inverse the whole inverse exists in G. So, therefore, A inverse dot A inverse the whole inverse is equal to A inverse the whole inverse dot A inverse is equal to E. Take this as second equation. From these two equations, we are getting A inverse the whole inverse dot A inverse is equal to A dot A inverse. Now, post multiply by A on both sides. After post multiplying by A, we are associating A inverse and A, which is nothing but E. So, we are getting A inverse the whole inverse is equal to A. The fourth subdivision, we know that AB whole inverse dot AB is equal to AB dot AB inverse, that is equal to E. Now, post multiply by B inverse. Now, post multiply by B inverse on both sides. Then associate B and B inverse, we will be getting E. That is AB whole inverse dot A is equal to B inverse. Now, post multiply by A inverse on both sides. we'll be getting A inverse value as E. So A B inverse B the whole inverse dot E is equal to B inverse A inverse, that is AB the whole inverse is equal to B inverse A inverse. Hence proved. Now let us see the definition for congruence. Let G be a group. H is a subgroup of G. For A comma B belongs to G, we say A is congruent to B mod H, written as A is congruent to B mod H if A B inverse belongs to H. Now let us see the definition for equivalence relation. The relation is an equivalence relation if it satisfies the three conditions: reflexive, symmetric and transitive. Reflexive is nothing but A is related to A. Symmetric, A related to B implies B related to A. Transitive, A related to B and B related to C implies A related to C. Now let us see a lemma based on this definition. The relation A is congruent to B mod H, that is written in the symbolic form, is an equivalence relation. We have to prove the congruence is an equivalence relation. Now let us see the proof. To prove that A is congruent to B mod H is an equivalence relation, we have to verify three conditions: reflexive, symmetric and transitive. First one, for reflexive we have to prove A is congruent to A mod H. Second one, A is congruent to B mod H implies B is congruent to A mod H. The third one is A is congruent to B mod H and B is congruent to C mod H implies A is congruent to C mod H. Now to prove the first one, by the definition of the congruence, we have to prove A dot A inverse belongs to H. Since A belongs to H, H is a subgroup, then A inverse also exists. A inverse belongs to H. Therefore, A inverse belongs to H by the closure property. The reflexive condition is satisfied. The second is symmetric. A is congruent to B mod H means A B inverse belongs to H, and B is congruent to A mod H means B A inverse belongs to H. Since A B inverse belongs to H, that implies A B inverse the whole inverse also belongs to H. Now by the previous lemma we can write it as B inverse the whole inverse dot A inverse belongs to H. B inverse the whole inverse is nothing but B into A inverse belongs to H. We can write it as in the equivalence, in the congruence definition, B is congruent to A mod H. The symmetry condition is also get satisfied. The third one is reflexive, transitive. Given A is congruent to B mod H and B is congruent to C mod H, that is A B inverse belongs to H and B C inverse belongs to H. To prove A is congruent to C mod H, that is A dot C inverse belongs to H. Since A dot B inverse comma B C inverse belongs to H, by the closure property, A dot B inverse dot B C inverse also belongs to H. Or we can associate B inverse with B, we will be getting E. So A dot E dot C inverse is nothing but A dot C inverse belongs to H. That is A is congruent to C mod H. So the transitive condition is also satisfied. Hence the three conditions are satisfied. We can say the given relation is an equivalence relation. Thank you, viewers.